The chaotic group stages have come to an end, but that doesn't mean the football has stopped, because from today the round of 16 gets underway and we have some interesting games, to say the least, as we get towards the main talking points of the World Cup. As ever, myself and Brad are going to look ahead to all of the games, including the round of 16 games starting today, and having a tiny look back at the crazy ending to the group stages that we had.
Did you enjoy the tournament? Did we finally get there in the end?
Yeah, I mean, this week it definitely livened up. But I think that's because there was so much on the line in a lot of the groups. I mean, what was it? Only 2 teams had already technically qualified by the time their games came around.
No, I believe it was like 3 or 4. But they went and made things interesting when the majority of them just decided, do you know what? Send the B team.
Yeah. Which is just absolutely mental. But at the same time,
it's a weird thing.
viewing.
Every single one of the favourites have lost.
Yes. I'm sure I saw a stat last
night. Except for
saying...
England, though, of course.
Yes.
It's coming home.
Optimistic there. I'm sure I saw a stat yesterday. Yeah, you can be. So I'm sure this is the first time since 1994 World Cup that no team has gone through with a perfect 100% win record. Right?
That's a lovely stat then.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. The highest points totals in each group was obviously Morocco with 7, England with 7, and the Netherlands with 7. Everyone else dropped more than the 2 points, which is just crazy to see. But let's have a look forward to then the round of 16 starting today. First up, it is the Netherlands versus USA at 3 p.m. GMT times. We're talking. The Netherlands are heavily reliant on Cody Gakpo so far.
Heavily reliant?
Yes. I mean...
That's the most common way of describing it right now. It's a lot more... They're so heavy. This guy is carrying them in ways that I don't think even the most knowledgeable of Cody Gakpo thought that he would.
I don't even think he himself would have thought he would have to carry them this much. I mean, he scored in every group game so far for them. It's just crazy how no one else seems to be able to score the goals. I mean, obviously they've got 2 other goals so far in the tournament, but it doesn't matter because he's literally doing everything else.
Yeah, it seems like the first game from where I had seen of the Netherlands, they were poor until they decided to move Gakpo further up the field, and then they reaped the rewards of it.
Yeah, 100%. Because he's like more natural. You see him out on the left wing in a more attacking sense, where through that first game he didn't seem to be until the changes were made, and then you saw him shine, which obviously if you're a PSV fan you've seen a lot this season already, hence why he's been linked with moves to the Premier League, and again he continues to be throughout the World Cup, and you'd probably say if not in January then 100% in the summer he gets a move to a top 5 league.
Oh yeah, that's beating, but feels pretty guaranteed now. But now you can say PSV will get a bigger fee for him than
minimum 50 million.
I don't know. It was like crazy that it was 30 that was talked about before, and I was going, unproven. I'm not so sure about this. But well done, lads. He's worth double that now.
Yeah, easily. He's just been absolute.
But he leads. You just had to stoke up another few million, and he would have been yours.
The US, on the other hand, obviously we've seen them a lot closer with them being in England's group, managing to get through despite only scoring 2 goals so far at the World Cup. Obviously, last time out, winning 1-0 against Iran. I don't know what to expect from this one between the 2 sides.
I weirdly do believe this could be closer than perhaps many would think. Like the USA's biggest strength for this whole tournament, and has been how organised they've looked. They have been a tough team to break down, but you could also say maybe the Netherlands could be Actually, no, I don't think Netherlands are the toughest opposition. I think England, they're a tougher opponent
Oh yeah, 100%.
than the
England were
Netherlands.
tougher.
And
I
you can
mean,
always say USA deserved the win against England.
yeah, definitely looked better than England at times in that game.
Yeah, I wondered if Pulisic, was there still concerns over him, or have they said
No,
he's
he's
now?
good to go.
He's good. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
probably beneficial for them then. Other than that, I don't know. I still rate them. They are
I think,
slightly underrated.
yeah, it's one of them where if they were a bit more clinical with their chances that they've had, then I think more people would be talking them up than they actually are at this minute. But
If they
because
just
they
release
haven't
the
been taken.
Kraken more, then they will be doing very well in this tournament.
But yeah, it's going to be a very, very close game. I've just looked here. All 5 previous meetings between the two sides have been in friendlies, with the USA winning the most recent encounter in 2015. So it's been a while since the two sides have faced.
Yeah, you can't really judge them now from that one.
No,
it's a very
especially with
different
them all.
Netherlands team, and the USA are a lot better, I would say, as well.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I think out of the round of 16 ties that we do have, I think this is going to be the closest game, and it's one that potentially could go the full distance, including like potentially a penalty shootout. It wouldn't surprise me if that was the end result of that.
I kind of have my own prediction with just extra time and penalties in general. I feel like we're going to see quite a few of that now in the knockout stages.
Yeah, I think there is the potential.
Despite saying otherwise in predictions that I've done elsewhere in third-party sites.
I mean, so far, I'm looking at this tournament on a whole, and maybe because France rested their players in their last game, I don't really see like a clear standout, like runaway team from the tournament.
I feel like we've been fooled into a false sense of security though with all these teams like resting players in the last games though.
Yeah.
But oh look, they're all losing. They're not that good.
Yeah. But if you was to make a prediction, Netherlands, USA, who do you think's going through?
I hate it because the opposite happens every time. So the Netherlands are going to win.
I'm going on the Netherlands to win 2-1, based on the fact. Now, if you're a basketball fan and you watch Inside the NBA, you'll know about Charles Barkley and his guarantees. And he said on Tuesday, just gone, that he guarantees that the USA will beat the Netherlands, which means they'll lose because his guarantees never come through. So that is my logic in thinking the Dutch will win this one.
Damn Charles Barkley.
On to the second game now.
Michael Jordan was always clear.
I mean, the rings is the main reason.
Yeah. Speaking of goats, Argentina and Australia next.
Yep, 7:00 for this one. Argentina haven't been that good, have they?
Have they not? I feel like they've started to hit their stride at the right time.
They're looking good-ish, but I think everyone's pre-tournament expectations of them have kind of weighed it down a bit.
Maybe, I guess. Maybe it's the opposition they faced. You shouldn't be losing to Saudi Arabia. That was the kick up the arse they needed almost, in a way. They just about got through Mexico after breaking them down. And then they dominated against Poland because Poland allowed them to, really.
Yeah, and that's even with Lionel Messi missing a penalty in that game.
Yeah. But he came out €100 better.
Exactly. So you can't complain that. Australia, again, they've been somewhat of a surprise for me. I mean, obviously after losing their opening game to France 4-1, then beating Tunisia and Denmark 1-0 each to get through, they've looked like in the second and third game, they look really strong and cohesive as a team.
Yeah, it's maybe the same case as the USA. They looked organised at any time they've gotten forward to have a chance. They have been clinical. They've scored in every game.
Yeah. And they've gone through with a minus goal difference.
I mean, that's France that they have to thank for that. But...
Yeah. But that is like they
did well to take advantage of the frauds that are Denmark.
Yeah, they massively let us down. I think. Well, I don't think just us. Everyone was expecting better from the Danish. They're obviously finishing bottom of their group, only scoring 1 goal throughout the tournament.
Well, if you're gonna rely on the likes of Andreas Cornelius, who we've been saying since 2016 is not good enough. Yeah, this guy a striker?
No.
Every time I've seen him, he has looked awful.
Yeah. I mean, he scored because he's currently at Copenhagen since the summer. 8 games, 2 goals. Then his previous club, Trabzonspor, 20 goals in 49 games. He just doesn't score goals at all.
Denmark's attacking options were slightly light, I guess we could say.
But
yeah.
Anyway, back onto Australia and their game against Argentina. Obviously, going into this, the Argentines will be heavy favourites. But you can't write off Australia at all. Crazier things have happened, and this is the first time since 2007 that these two have met back in a friendly, when Argentina won 1-0 thanks to Martin Di Michaelis scoring the only goal of that game.
Martin Di Michaelis.
We're
going back there.
Yes, and Australia's only ever win against Argentina in 7 meetings was back in July 1988. So, yeah.
But with this one, I fully expect Australia trying their best not to concede. And they've maybe tried to will penalties from this one.
Yeah, but they don't have good records against South American teams in the World Cup. Played 4 times, drawing once, losing the other 3. It doesn't read happy reading for them. But
that's the one thing. But I go off what I've been seeing in this tournament so far, and who knows what could happen, as we said. And also, they may have a counter-attack threat. You never know.
Yeah. Plus, if we go back to Argentina's first game, when they've played Otamendi and Romero in defence, I think that Australian attack could definitely cause them problems.
Otamendi is still relying on him.
Yeah, at 34 years of age, he hasn't had pace for the last fucking decade. Why are they still
even against Poland, there was a moment when he completely ducked out of a tackle and then got outpaced by someone.
Yeah. I can't remember.
Any good team destroys him.
Oh, yeah. 100%. And should they go through on their side, they would face the winner of the earlier game between the Netherlands and the USA. And if you're giving Cody Gakpo...
Gakpo fucking murders him.
He adds another 20 million to his fee.
Well, no, I feel like that's the expectation is he destroys Otamendi.
It should be very funny. Right, let's go on to Sunday's games, and we start off with France versus Poland at 3:00. You got to say the French are the heavy favourites for this one, despite resting their players in their last game.
Yeah, for all the talk of France's depth, my God, did it look pretty bad the other day.
It was.
Then again, if you're going to play Camavinga, one of the best young midfielders in the world, at left back, you deserve to lose.
Well, yeah. I mean, that is
Didier Southgate. Is that what he is?
Oh, gosh. But, I mean, just, why on earth would you play Camavinga at left back for?
Just weird. It's also like he could have took Luca Dean.
I've just looked at it.
It was like Jordan Verretou was playing like as an attacking midfielder, and watching him was like watching him back in 2016 in the relegation Villa team.
Yeah, very, very painful.
Took me back to nightmares, that one.
Yeah, obviously expect to see a much different France side, the likes of Mbappe, be back in it. Obviously, Camavinga will be further up the pitch. You fucking hope so. I don't know on that one. I haven't seen anything to confirm whether he's.
I feel like they are better with him in it. Like a recognised striker. No offense to Marcus Thuram, he's looked okay, but Giroud clearly is the one who has the goal threat.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if he is fit.
At the same time, though, I still wouldn't be surprised if this one went to penalties.
See, I just don't see Poland getting the goals in this one.
That's the thing. They could just defend for their lives again.
I don't think it would be a high scoring. I think maybe a 1-0, but it will be one of them where it'll be like defense from Poland, and then one lapse in judgment, and then France will find the back of the net and score.
There's one other battle that we could talk about with this one, and it's this amazing defense versus attack duel of Matty Cash versus Kylian Mbappe.
I knew you'd get that in there somehow.
Yeah, anytime I've seen Cash against a quality winger, he's looked a bit debatable. Yeah, he looks good anyway, but when you put him against actual quality, oh.
It's been very, very scary for him, to say the least.
Look, I rate him. I'll give him a chance against Mbappe. Just frustrate the guy. That's all Cash has to do.
Which I don't think would be too hard.
I feel like Mbappe has kept his cool so far in the tournament.
Yeah, he definitely has. However, stranger things have happened. I know that's my saying of the tournament, but I still
Cash is definitely leaving one on him though.
Oh, 100%. First half an hour, let him know you're there. Bosh.
One of those vintage slide tackles that he just master at.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's get to the next one.
Yep, England versus Senegal, 7:00 on Sunday. There's been a bit of talk, especially on the BBC the other day, talking about who should be in the starting lineup. There was talk about resting Kyle Walker in case they face France from Gary Lineker.
Like, guys.
You're going to look fucking stupid if he does rest Kyle Walker and then England and France both go out, or one of the two go out.
Why are we talking like Kyle Walker's the best right back?
Oh, yeah. Like, just because he's got pace.
Isn't. No, he isn't. It's Trent. But with Senegal's, like Senegal have an attacking threat. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, yeah.
They absolutely should not be looking past the African champions, for God's sake.
Yeah. Like, they just seem to be disrespecting them so much. Like, oh, yeah, we're going to easily walk past Senegal. Like, from what I've seen this tournament, I don't see England walking past them as easy as they're making it out to be.
I think it could happen. I feel like if you just resort Senegal to defending, then yeah, it can happen. But it's watching their threat on the counter that they're probably going to be making the most of.
But yeah, do you start Rashford in this one?
Yes, absolutely. I feel like you don't change that front three whatsoever.
Do you think he will start Rashford in this one?
No, it's almost certainly going to be Kane, Rashford, Sterling.
Right, you just said you're not changing it, but Rashford starting.
I'm not changing it, but I'm thinking what Southgate would do. He will absolutely find a way to put Raheem Sterling back in that team.
It wouldn't surprise me if he reverts back to how it was the previous game. So you see Sterling, Mount, Saka and Kane as the forward four.
No offense to Saka. Other than the first game, he didn't look great against the USA. So I'll worry about that. Rashford runs in behind. Even when he's playing at what, he's looked like he's still doing that. If Kane's going to play deep, you want Rashford still up there to make runs.
I 100% agree with you, but...
And Phil Foden is the best goddamn player we've got.
Again, not being utilised as much as he should be, but...
Look what happened when he played.
Exactly. Southgate leaves us scratching our heads sometimes with everything he does, but
I feel like the real debate is, do you stick with Henderson or does Mount come back in?
I have no idea.
This is odd thing, like Henderson, while we all shrieked at the idea of him coming in, because the rumour was that he was playing for Bellingham and then he didn't come in for Bellingham, and it was like, oh, that's all right then. His leadership clearly helps.
Definitely.
And I think you need that, really.
You
look at 100%. Liverpool as the big example of that. His leadership is clearly crucial to them. And considering we have a very young team still, I think you need that.
Yeah, 100%.
I would, to avoid the risk, I'd be going Rice, Henderson, Bellingham.
Yeah. If, like...
I'd say what's Mason Mount offered in this tournament? Exactly. Your silence was very telling in that moment.
I've just seen this is going to be the first ever meeting between the two sides.
Yes, it is. Which is
never played before.
Which adds to the intrigue as well.
Yes. And but if you listen to what...
No, carry on. I'll let you.
If you've listened to us previously, you know about the ITV curse, and
yeah, I only found out this morning. Just why? Because no one's learned anything. Even ITV at this point are going to go, "Shut, lads, you can have this one."
Yeah, swap the games around, and then we're good.
It's annoying. But I feel like we've not given Senegal enough praise.
Yeah, I mean, we expected them to obviously get through as the second best team in that group, but yeah, they've looked strong. And I think their main problem, though, is can they keep a clean sheet? Because obviously their last two games against Ecuador and Qatar, they've conceded. Obviously, losing 2-0 against. Obviously, the Netherlands, I was expecting them to lose and not keep a clean sheet, but against Qatar and Ecuador, maybe a bit more defensive strongness from them. But it'll be very interesting to see what their defense of Kalidou Koulibaly and Co can do in this one. I don't know if you've seen some of the rumours regarding Edouard Mendy and Kepa at club level. Apparently, Chelsea are looking to move on from them two, according to some paper reports earlier on this week. So,
I think Mendy, I'm not as surprised by. I feel like he can't play this pass out the back style that maybe Potter would want at Chelsea. And he's even looked a little flaky at the odd moment.
Obviously, just paper talk, and we don't know if there's any. Obviously, take it all with a massive pinch of salt. But yeah, Mendy just hasn't looked as his best. And like you said, even here with Senegal so far, he hasn't looked that outstanding.
Yeah, but if England are going to find a weakness, just shoot at Mendy.
Yeah, 100% agree.
Yeah. But the Senegal threats as well should be mentioned. Ismail Assar, I think, is quality. I was gutted when Villa didn't sign him in the summer. I'd still like to think we could go through because he's looked good at moments here for Senegal as well.
Potentially. Iliman Ndiaye as well of Sheffield United looked okay so far in the tournament. Got an assist.
The two strikers as well, the Bristol City forward, Jet Deju as well, whenever he's played, has looked decent. There's the other one as well, Dia, however you say it. I don't know how they keep saying it. They keep saying it differently.
Boulaye Dia of on loan at Salernitana from Villarreal.
He's supposed to be quite rated at the moment.
Looking quite interesting. On to Monday's games now. We've got Japan versus Croatia and Brazil versus South Korea. Again, I think Japan-Croatia has, to me, a very similar feel to the USA-Netherlands. I think it'll be a really close game. Neither team has had exceptional standout moments. Obviously, Japan surprising everyone by finishing top of their group, beating both Germany and Spain. But It's because Spain fielded a weaker side the other day.
Conspiracies.
Yes, I mean, there's
All
been a
part
lot
of the plan,
talk
was
over
it?
that. Yes.
Get rid of the
And then
Germans.
there was and then there was the whole incident of whether the ball was out, ball wasn't out. I mean, you can clearly see it's not out.
It was as much over the line as the ball was in the 1966 World Cup final.
But yeah,
it was so weird that the whole arguments happened online. Even my dad was like, "That ball's not over. It's over the line. Like, you use brains. Get the brain cells jigging. Get a football, put it over a line, and then you have to see yourself why actually it's not over the line."
Yeah,
there's use science for a change.
There's like a small portion of the ball that wasn't out.
Yeah. And then there was the official FIFA video that came out to say that this is what it was, and you could see actually, a little tiny bit.
Yep, but tiny bit or more.
Like if Graham Souness is trying to defend, trying to say, yeah, that's out, then maybe you should be questioning whether it is or not.
Yeah, don't take anything that man says.
I haven't seen Graham Souness that angry about a decision since he thought the grass was too long at Villa Park in the 7-2 Villa win over Liverpool.
I mean, that's still just the stupidest thing I've heard in a long time. But yeah, Croatia as well. They've won games, obviously. Well, won a game, beating Canada 4-1, but their other two games, they're just 2-0. There's nothing there from Croatia.
We could say there's nothing there, but if they're given the chance, they'll take it, I feel. And this game maybe is a good shout for them. Let's face it, would they rather face Japan than Spain?
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's gone in their favour.
Definitely. Just looking here at some stats, this will be the third World Cup meeting between the two sides, with Japan winless and goalless in the previous two. The last meeting in the World Cup was back in 2006 in a group stage.
The weird thing with Japan, isn't it? Every time they've scored, they've then gone and scored straight after. It's like once they get momentum, they look a very good team.
Yeah, 100%. You can see that, like, that goal just gives them the confidence and go, actually, we can do better than this. And it wouldn't surprise me if they try and go at Croatia's defence a little bit.
Yeah, they should do. Because they'd have to look at Croatia and how they've been in some other games where they're just focusing more on the defence rather than the attack. And I feel this one, I feel like, screams extra time.
Oh yeah, 100%. This one's got extra time written all over it, I think.
Yeah, I'm dreading the added time within extra time.
I'm just hoping
there's going to be games that are going on for. Literally, there will be NFL games that will go on for less time than some of these are knockout games.
Yeah. I mean, talking of like players, obviously everyone knows what Luka Modric is capable of, but I think everyone's main attention has been in the defence at that Joško Gvardiol.
Yeah, he's all quality.
And you can see why he's been rumoured with a link with Chelsea and Real Madrid and a few other teams as well. And at 20 years old, he looks really solid in the defence.
You've got to be good to work with Dejan Lovren as well.
Exactly. Like, how is that man still one of Croatia's best centre backs?
Well, I can't explain it.
The latest game on Monday, like I said, is Brazil versus South Korea. Don't know whether Neymar's fit for this.
They've not said, have they?
No.
Last I saw was they were trying to find out after the Cameroon game whether he was fit. But, and I take this from my dad's advice. Yeah, again, if this man has got a sprained ankle, he's done.
100%, he's not playing.
It only takes one touch and he's gone again.
Yeah.
At the very times he's on the floor.
Even play.
I think he is done.
Running pressure. Yeah. I don't see him playing.
I think he's done and they just didn't want to say anything.
Yeah.
You need to look at the pictures. The guy's ankle was bigger than Ronaldo's ego.
I mean, I don't think that's that possible. It was
Maybe
big, but it wasn't that big.
Not after the way this tournament's been going for Ronaldo.
Exactly. Nothing's that fucking big. Obviously, Brazil won their opening 2 games, but then lost yesterday, as the time of recording, to Cameroon in the late depths of that game with
This one,
Vincent Bibakar scoring.
This one was different to Spain and France. Brazil's depth was crazy. They had an almighty front line of Rodrigo, Martinelli, Anthony, and who was the other one? It was Rodrigo, wasn't it?
Jesus.
Jesus.
It
was Jesus.
Yeah.
Like that should be smashing Cameroon without the front three.
Full.
I still think the front three as well. I just said it. Like.
Yeah. But I think Jesus hasn't been at it this tournament.
No, he hasn't. We all thought he was going to be good class.
Mm. But I mean, you got to feel for a Boubacar. Scores the winner, gets sent off, still goes home.
I feel like he knew what he was doing though.
Yeah, I think
so. The referee was like, "Thank you, yeah, better than Mo Salah." But like, what was he wearing? A shirt underneath that was saying that at least.
Oh, it would have been better.
Like, the moment was there.
Look at their opponents now. South Korea won 1 game, drew 1, lost 1.
How did they get through as well?
Uruguay didn't score enough goals. That was it.
It was literally that. It's because Ghana, instead of deciding to go for 2 and try and get through themselves, they thought, no, we're going to stop Uruguay scoring.
Yeah. It's like, lads,
they got their revenge,
just
not in the way that we all thought.
And the fact that Andre Ayew...
my heart broke in that moment. At the same time that I was going, you dickhead, why did you take it like
that? Such a poor penalty.
It was awful.
It really was. But, yeah, South Korea... I don't know what to expect from them in this one. I really don't.
Yeah, I feel like this could be, or it should be too much for them. But then again...
Yeah, you would expect a heavy pressure.
Brazil are going to be attacking them a lot. So, dare we say South Korea have got a threat on the counter-attack as well?
Potentially.
Like, if Son's putting passes in like he did yesterday, his man will be a threat.
Yeah, well, I think Brazil will probably know that.
They should know
what Son's capable of.
Richarlison should be there telling them this.
Oh yeah, I forgot Richarlison's at Spurs. I don't know what made me forget that. I was like, what do you mean he should know? But I completely forgot he was at Spurs.
Are you talking about he's at Everton?
I just completely forgot about this on my move.
Yeah.
And onto the final.
Some of us are knowledgeable.
Yes. Onto the final set of games now. On Tuesday, we have Morocco versus Spain and Portugal versus Switzerland. Morocco through.
Like, who had them top in the group?
No one.
No, I'd refuse to. But anyone who says they did, I'll refuse. But Morocco have been a team that I've really enjoyed watching.
Yeah.
They're not like everyone else, where they're not fully focused on defending. They're giving it a go.
Yeah, and they've looked good. I mean, scored 4 goals, only conceded the 1 so far.
Which is also why I don't think this is as straightforward as it could be for Spain.
No. I mean, I think it will be a really close game, and definitely one where I think many people will have Spain running riot and easily winning it, but I just don't see that happening. I think Morocco will prove a very sturdy test for them.
To see it from that point of view, I guess people could think that Morocco will end up being like how Costa Rica tried to be against them. But they'll just leave themselves too open and Spain will rip them apart.
Yeah, but I think Morocco are a much better side overall than Costa Rica.
I think they've got better quality.
Definitely.
We know the players to watch is from Morocco. It's Hakim Ziyech, and I feel like if you mark him out again, they are a bit. They lack slightly in quality elsewhere other than him.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the other forward line from their game against Canada. You had Sofiane Boufal, and Yusuf En-Nesyri. Now, obviously, En-Nesyri did score in that
but he
game
looked
against
average
Canada.
in the other games, though.
Yeah,
But that
and
one game was the rare occurrence.
Sofiane Boufal was just like, I genuinely forgot you were still playing football, mate. Like, he's been so poor this tournament.
The odd thing that did irk me a little bit with Morocco is saying they've got two quality winger options, Hakim Ziyech, Sofiane Boufal. Sorry, what did Sofiane Boufal do? Score one very good goal the one season.
Wasn't that against West Brom?
I don't know, it was that one where he ran like from the other half of the pitch.
Yeah, it was against West Brom because I remember it because I was at that game. That's how I remember it.
You chose to forget that game.
Yeah, I mean, Southampton, West Brom, all those years ago, back 4 or 5 years back now. Not obviously great, but yeah, he's been
you saw
really
his
poor.
only mark of greatness.
Mm-hmm. And now he's playing over from France at Angers. And I only just figured that out. Second meeting between the two sides last time was in the group stages at the last World Cup where it finished 2-2. So,
see, they've got their number.
Exactly. It's going to be very, very interesting. And finally, Portugal versus Switzerland.
I can't be asked with this one, if I'm honest. This is the only one I'm like, oh no, just put this to penalties now.
Yeah, this really does have penalties written all over it, doesn't it?
I hope it's an excitable draw, though, at least.
I don't think it will be.
That is the worry.
Unless we get another Bruno Fernandes masterclass.
Yeah, this
is going to be a poor draw.
He's looked very good in this tournament when Ronaldo's not trying to steal his goals. But
and his limelight. But yeah, Bruno, I think
Bruno's used to that at this point. Although he doesn't have to worry about that once this tournament's over.
Exactly. And I think we'll even see that when we go back to club football in a couple of weeks' time. We'll see a better
we were
Bruno.
Already seeing that whenever Ronaldo's not played, Bruno has got quality.
I mean, Ronaldo putting a stinker again against South Korea before he got subbed off. So
he realises he needs Bruno.
Yes. Giving Bruno and all the attention, and he can do something.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one,
It's also weird. Can't rule out Switzerland, given how they've been at past tournaments in the knockout stages. I refer back to the Euros against France.
Yeah.
That game was quality.
It really was. But yeah, I think this one definitely has earmarks of penalties written all over it.
Yeah. Potentially.
Jesus Christ, I've just seen this is the third meeting between the two sides this year.
I feel like they have played a lot against each other. Well, in the same Nations League group.
Yeah. Portugal won 4-0 in the first game before Switzerland won 1-0 in Geneva a week later.
See, who could call this one?
And a little further down on this stats, they faced each other in competitive action on 6 occasions in the 21st century, with both teams having won 3 games apiece. Their only previous clash at a major tournament was Switzerland winning 2-0 at the Euros in 2008.
Good luck finding a winner when you bet on this one.
Yeah. This just has penalties written all over it, doesn't it?
Like, I can't call it.
No. And I think many people are in the same boat as us. But
if you have to, I feel like I want to hear your winners for each one.
Okay.
But yeah.
Right, so we obviously said the Netherlands will win that game.
Yeah, I like how we just predicted that one and then couldn't be asked for the rest.
I'll go with Argentina beating Australia. I'll go with 2-1 as well.
Oh, we don't need scores. Get on with it.
France to beat Poland, England to beat Senegal, Croatia to lose to Japan. I've got Brazil winning, Spain winning, and Portugal on penalties.
Interesting. I'm going to go Netherlands, Argentina, France, England, Croatia, Spain, Brazil, Switzerland.
Okay.
There's a reason I already said Switzerland, and anyone who remembers the preview podcast knows why.
Yeah. That's why you said them then.
Actually, I should be saying Poland as well in that case.
Oh, gosh. Also, two of my predictions.
Yeah, we'll get to the predictions when
outrageous
the
ones
comes around, but it's all gone wrong.
It's going to be a very interesting last few games of games, and I'm excited for it to start later on today. Hopefully it continues to be as good as the last set of games in the group stages was.
It better be. I'm not here for boring knockouts.
No, definitely not. Right, that is it. We'll be back once the quarterfinals are wrapped up on Tuesday. Round of 16 are wrapped up on Tuesday, and we'll look ahead to the quarterfinals and that. Until then, make sure you like and subscribe. Find us wherever you get your podcast, whether that be Apple, Spotify, wherever, and that you're following us on YouTube as well, where we upload the full podcast, and that you're following us on Twitter as well. And soon we'll be returning to club action because the championship is back next weekend, unless you're fans of. Is it Millwall Sunderland today? Middlesbrough? Who? I know there is a championship game today.
I'm not caring.
But I'm actually kind of
still
excited
a World Cup brain.
No, I'm kind of excited to get back to club football, despite how good this past week has been in the World Cup.
That is you. So you.
Right.
You like to be different.
Yes. Anyway, we'll see you later on early next week.
Yep.